Teenage me would be so proud right now that I'm actually filming a YouTube video. I have a new camera, so I'm sorry if I keep looking up at the viewfinder instead of at the actual camera, but I promise I will get better the more that I do. So this video is going to be about my running journey so far. It was highly requested on my Instagram, so I'm just going to talk you through how I got started, what I've done so far and what the plans going forward are. So I actually signed up to the London Marathon for April this year, having never run before. I wanted to do something as a challenge to raise money for Great Ormond Street because it is a charity that's really close to us as a family. I didn't expect to get in. I know it's really difficult to get a ballot place and difficult to get a charity place, so I wasn't holding my breath, but I just sort of thought I'll give it a go, and if I get it then it's meant to be and I'm supposed to start running. And I got the email the night before my little girl's 9th birthday, and she is the reason that I wanted to run for Great Ormond Street. So I did take it as a huge sign that I was supposed to run the London Marathon. So I've got that email in June last year, and then I went out on my first run, I think the week later, and it was honestly the worst thing I think I've ever done. I struggled so much. I basically walked the whole. I aiming for a 5k because that was the sort of distance that I think seemed like a good place to start. But it took me 58 minutes, and it was a lot of like stop start walking, like me just trying desperately to run and only being able to manage about 30 seconds. Looking back now, I think I should have done Couch to 5k, but I was just trying to do it on my own, and what I was doing was similar to what Couch to 5k is. So I was just running as much as I could and then taking a break and walking and then running again, and I did that for a good month, and I was seeing every time I was going it was gradually getting a bit easier, and I was being able to run that little bit more before having to stop and walk. In the July last year, my mum was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and it meant that I couldn't then run outside anymore because she needed full-time care. But luckily she had a treadmill in her front room, so it meant that I could be with her but I could still get my training in. And I don't know what it was about the treadmill. I don't know whether it's because it keeps you at a consistent pace, but I just found it so much easier to run on the treadmill. And like every now and again I would try and do a run outside, like when I could get out, and I just really struggled. But then on the treadmill I seemed to be progressing really well. In the August I managed to do my first 10k on the treadmill. I did it in an hour 20, and I was just so proud that I'd only started running in June and I'd done a 10k in the August. So then I signed up to the Royal Parks half for the October, but because of everything with my mum, with hospital appointments and everything, the furthest that I'd actually run was the 10k. I just thought, seeing that I was training for the full marathon, that I would then get a feel for what it's like to run an actual race, and just to see whether I could even manage the half marathon distance. I didn't have any expectations going into it. I wasn't fussed about a time. I just wanted to complete it. And if you ran the Royal Parks half last year, you'll know that it was on a day where we had some sort of freak heat wave, and it was so hot. So obviously it wasn't ideal for running a half marathon anyway, but I think I did okay. I really did enjoy it. I did struggle. I did have to keep stopping and walking, but I completed it. I did it in 2 hours and 40 minutes, which I think for a first half marathon, considering that I'd done not a lot of training and that I'd only been running since the June, I thought that was like really good considering everything. After the Royal Parks half, I was just running as and when I could, and sort of just waiting for the actual London Marathon training block to start in January. So I was just running whatever I felt like doing really. And this January marathon training block started, and it all started really, really well. January, like the first 4 weeks, I saw such progress in like my fitness. I was smashing the plan that I'd been given. I was using the Runner app, 3 runs a week, which like normally a long run, an easy run, and then some sort of speed work. And I was really enjoying it. I was really doing really well. The same in February, and me and my brother took part in the Winter Run 10k, which so I'd done a 10k previously on the treadmill, which was an hour 20, and we managed to do that 10k in February in 1 hour and 8 minutes, so quite a big improvement in just a few months, which I was like so pleased with. That weekend that I ran the Winter Run 10k, I'd also been to the Re Club on the Saturday and done a 5k with them, and I'd also tried to fit in a 5k where I'd really pushed myself to try and get under 30 minutes on the Friday. So I'd done quite a lot back to back that weekend, and during the 10k I just felt something in my legs go, like something wasn't right. I was in quite a lot of pain. Got home from the 10k and I couldn't even walk. I was really struggling, and I just kept thinking like, it's because I've really pushed myself today and I've pushed myself over the weekend. I've probably just done too much, I'll be fine. But it wasn't going away. I gave myself a few days to rest. I didn't do anything, and then I tried to go back up for a run, I think maybe like 4 or 5 days later, and the pain was unbearable. And when I googled it, it sounded like I had shin splints, and all it was saying was that if that is the case, you shouldn't be running, because then you can get a stress fracture, which is then obviously can take ages to recover from. So because obviously then I'm halfway through the marathon training block, I need to be able to run. So I booked an appointment straight away with physio for that week, and straight away, as soon as she felt my leg, she said, yep, it's shin splints. They're actually quite bad. You need to take at least 2 weeks off of running, like there's no running. And I really did panic then, because this is like peak marathon training then. This is the weeks where the distances were the longest that we were going to do during the training. And I just kept thinking like, I can't have 2 weeks off now. I need to be able to complete these runs. And she just sort of said like, if you attempt this, you're not going to be running the London Marathon, because you are going to end up with a stress fracture, and then that's you out. So she advised that I stopped, and that I could continue doing the distances on the bike, and like the row machine. So that's what I did, and then I was going to physio over the next few weeks, and they did, with her advice, I changed trainers as well. I got a gait analysis, which I should have got in the beginning. So if you take something away from this video, please go and get a gait analysis before you start training, because looking back now, I really do think it was a combination of the wrong trainers and just too much training back to back. Yeah, followed all her advice, was going to physio once a week, and then my runner plan went out the window then, because where I should have been then, because I'd missed so many runs, it was the distances were too far apart from what I'd completed to what they expected me to do now. And she just sort of said like, you're going to end up with shin splints again if you try and jump from where you're at to where your plan is. So she made me a whole new plan, but it did mean that I missed 2 of the longest ones that I should have completed during marathon training. I think we got up to 25 kilometres during training, and I should have done up to 32 kilometres. Yeah, did London Marathon in April. Was initially really disappointed with my time. Did it in 6 hours 34 minutes. But looking back now, I think given the fact that I hadn't even been running for a year, that I hadn't completed all the training, I think, like, me and my brother did it together. We both obviously crossed the finish line together, so we got the same time. But I am really proud of both of us, because a year ago I would have never have even imagined completing the marathon. So it doesn't really matter the time that it took us. We still did it. We still got the same medal as the people that complete it in 3 hours. But saying that, plan going forward is to try and knock 2 hours off my current marathon time. So I want to get it down to 4.5 hours by this time next year. And to do that, I have enlisted the help of a coach, and he is making me up a training plan. At the moment, I should have it for next week, and that will consist of 3 gym sessions per week, 3 runs per week, and also to follow his nutrition plan, which will be obviously specific calories and macros. And that is because I did gain quite a lot of weight during this marathon training block. I gained 2 stone, which I wasn't expecting at all when I signed up to run the London Marathon. I had pictured in my head that I was going to be, you know, the leanest and fittest that I'd ever been, because you just think if I'm running that much and I'm running those long distances, that was what was going to happen, and it didn't. So yeah, I do want to lose the weight that I did gain, just because I'm not feeling the best I've ever felt, and I do think it is impacting on my running. I have noticed since gaining the weight that everything feels a lot harder. So yeah, so we're combining all of that together from next week. So I'm going to start doing weekly vlogs from when I get my training plan from next week. So from the 22nd, I will start uploading weekly vlogs and include like what I'm doing in the gym, what my runs are looking like, what I'm eating, just in case anyone is interested, and just to see if what I'm doing does impact on how fast I can run a marathon. So that's the plan going forward. I do have lots of other videos planned. I've got a huge activewear haul that I've had in bags for ages that I've been meaning to film that I haven't got around to. I've got some Lululemon, some Adanola and some Primark activewear that I can share if you'd like to see that. I've also got a giveaway currently on my TikTok because I'm almost at 10,000 followers, which blows my mind that many people want to follow my running journey. So yeah, if you haven't entered that yet, then please do. I'll leave all the information down below, and if there's anything you specifically want to see, then leave that in the comments as well, and I'll get that filmed. Because yeah, apart from like a weekly vlog of what I'm doing, I am a bit stuck on what people might want to see from this channel. But yeah, just leave me a comment below with any suggestions. So if you would like to see if I manage to take 2 hours off my current marathon time by this time next year, then please do give this video a like and subscribe, because I would love for you to stick around. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.